Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Thursday, and all of our guests today, including Ray Ferraro, standing by, brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. Giants are now taking deposits for the 24-25 season. Put your deposit down before May 3rd and receive a complimentary Giants hat. For more information, head to vancouvergiants.com or call 604-4-GIANTS. NHL playoffs about to start. We're joined now by ESPN NHL analyst, co-host of the Ray and Dregs podcast, our friend Ray Ferraro, who's in Denver, working the Oilers in Colorado tonight. Ray, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Two observations right away. One, it's snowing in Denver, which came out of left field. We opened the curtains. I'm like, oh, really? Would you look at that? Dolly, I'm a little disappointed this morning. Little subdued. It's a playoff time, spring, and that's a little subdued shirt.
It's a golf shirt, Ray. Come on.
Yeah, I know, but it's subdued. It's subdued. It's
Friday's is Hawaiian shirt day. Fridays is Hawaiian shirt day.
I wear Hawaiian shirts on Friday, Ray. But next time you're on, I'm going to break that. I'm going to put the Hawaiian shirt on just for you.
Just think, you open your closet and there's Hawaiian shirts hanging there. You're the only man of your age with that doesn't live in Hawaii.
I got a ton of them. A ton. Love it.
Hey, meanwhile, Ray, Canucks versus Nashville, round one. I'm sure you're aware of that. In what ways can the Predators give the Canucks trouble?
Oh, they're very quick. Their head coach is probably my best friend in the game, and Andrew Burnett. Yeah. He is a really creative offensive mind. I would say it's really interesting, before just getting into that a bit, is like neither team really had this as like a certainty come mid-September. Nashville made all kinds of changes. They bought out a couple of players, and Ryan Johansson and Matt Duchene. They brought in Ryan O'Reilly and Luke Schenn, and they were trying to be more competitive. But the one thing Bruno likes is he likes his team to get it and go. They don't carry the puck a lot. They move it, long stretch passes, lots of tips, lots of pressure up the ice. They play a fast game. That'll be the biggest challenge to anybody. And as if people have been following since the new year, they've been one of the league's best teams. And certainly that 16-game winning streak didn't hurt, but this is a very good team, and they've got a very good goalie. Yosi Saros is he's tremendous.
Right, I know their dimensions are different, but how would you compare a couple of guys that are going to get a ton of ice time in this series, Roman Yosi and Quinn Hughes?
Well, they can both skate for days. Like they both have the gift of they're what I call easy skaters, Donnie. Like there is no work. It seems, to when they skate. Like some guys, you just see them, they're just pushing and grinding on every stride, and other guys, they're just like they could skate forever. Miro Heiskanen in Dallas is another one, and and so those three are defensemen. I wouldn't say Drew Doughty is an easy skater, but he can chew huge minutes as well. But Yosi and Hughes, I don't think there's anybody as nimble as Quinn with the puck in the league, really. But Yosi carries it a lot. That was one of the changes that they really worked, trying to get him to change his game from being so much of a puck transporter into a get it, move it, go, and then jump up into the play type of a player. Like that was that's a big change late in your career, or later in your career. But they do play differently, sure, but there's so many similarities to them. Both of them are the center of the wheel of the offense of their teams, and that doesn't always happen from the blue line.
Don't you hate those guys, the easy skaters?
Oh, they must have better skate sharpening than most guys. I mean, like when they turn, they come out of it in full speed. When they when they get challenged, they've got that one extra stride. Like, of the things that amused me this year was when some dumb forward would chase Quinn behind the net. And, it was like he dropped quicksand behind him and he's just gone. And Yosi's the same way. You cannot chase him. You've got to be in front of him. And like a lot of things in sport, it always sounds easy in theory. It's really hard to not put yourself in that position where you might only be 2 or 3 feet away from the right spot, but it might be the very wrong spot and you're never going to catch him.
Ray, both teams are well coached. When I look at Tocchet, the culture he changed, the accountability, he never lets them get complacent, get better every day, don't get high on your horse. He keeps an even keeled. The job he's done this year, Ray, I for me, there's your coach of the year, but he's done a wonderful job in Vancouver.
Yeah, I don't know really how much we're supposed to talk about our ballots, but I don't know. Nobody told me not to. So I got Tocchet 1 and Brunette 2.
Wow.
I think they've done just amazing jobs. And guys, just for a second, I think it's kind of important to think about where the Canucks have come from. Because even as like as late as September, you guys didn't see this coming. Most people
Jim Rutherford did.
Nobody would have seen this coming. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it goes to when Jim started putting the organization together, he put in place people that he trusted and that people he knew and people he knew that had growth. Rick Tocchet's not the same coach today as he was when Jim had him in Pittsburgh.
Right.
He just isn't. And so the structure that Toc preaches and teaches and demands, that goes straight up the chain. And so they've had such an amazing, 14 months or whatever it is, like the change and the growth. And it's not just in the points and the wins, it's in the way that they play. Like, I know there's lots of angst about, geez, they didn't score as much down the stretch as they did early in the year. They were never going to score like that, like they did, in October and November. Most teams don't. But what they have built is a really hard to play against, really sound structurally and defensively, big and heavy. That's a different team than we've even imagined in Vancouver for a long time. And the games are different, right? The games are just different when they play. They just they check and they hit and they grind and they've got those monsters plus Quinn on the blue line. Like, they're big. And then they've got Quinn. And I'm like, it's a really well put together team. And on Sunday, none of it matters because it all starts again.
Ray, I really liked them up the middle of the ice. Miller, Pettersson, Lindholm, Blueger. Lindholm is not giving you the points that they thought they would get from him. But defensively, faceoffs, he wins a ton. PK. Blueger's been great all year. Your thoughts on the battle in the middle of the ice between these two teams?
Well, Ryan O'Reilly's a problem.
Yeah.
Always, because if you were to put him in a foot race, he'd lose it. If you were to put him in a strength test, he'd probably lose. He's just so bloody smart. Like, he knows how to play everywhere around the game. Watch him in the series, how often he puts his body in the right spot to shield somebody off the puck, to buy himself a little more time because he's not the quickest guy. He's a tremendous player. I do think there's an edge here for Vancouver up the middle. I do. I like the way Nashville plays, and I think it's more systemic than the actual people that they play in the middle. They'll move some people in and out of there too. They are not they're not set in stone with what you're going to get with each matchup. Lindholm is a key in the whole thing, because it's nice to check and it's nice to win faceoffs, but I thought when he came back, what was the game I did at home? It might have been the Arizona game. Was that his first one back? I just thought, oh my God, he looks different. He's skating different. He was more engaged. Maybe that time off gave him a little time to get healthy. Maybe it gave him a little bit of reset. but they need him to play, because it's one thing to just put the names down, but if you're going to have that, if that's going to be an advantage for you, they're going to have to play. But you look at it from the other side, Nashville's looking at Miller and they're like, who are we going to match Miller against? Mm-hmm. Like, who's going to play shift after shift against this guy that's been a monster all year? Pettersson's got another gear. We know he does. Mm-hmm. And I do think there is there's something to it when you've had a season that maybe looks okay or isn't okay. And, for the numbers look fine, right? But we know he's got more there. A fresh start where everybody's at zero matters. It really does. I've gone into playoff series and felt like I was playing lousy, but everybody's at zero. You look at the stat sheet and everybody's at zero. You don't feel like you're behind the 8 ball at all. I think the key for him is just react, don't think. Just you're an immensely talented, gifted player. Don't think your way around the ice. Just play your way around the ice.
Talking with Ray Ferraro, it was Salt Lake that he played his first game back with Ray, by the way. With that in mind, I
was just like, Salt Lake, huh?
Salt Lake.
Oh, yeah. That's
had
true.
Me going.
By the way, I did one game in the mullet, and I did it this year. And when I left, I said, "Well, that's one. I hope I never come back here again." It's not even a junior rink.
Yeah.
Like the whole saga. I feel so badly for those people that worked their ass off there, Donnie, and Dolly. Like they went to work every day. They did the best they could. They were. That team was in the wrong place for 20 years. And it was an inevitable what was going to happen when they keep bouncing from project to project. Look, Ryan Smith is the new owner in Salt Lake. He's got an arena of 12,000 unobstructed view hockey seats. 12,000. They have told him that's got to be at least 17,000. They've changed the bylaws in the entertainment district to build it out in Salt Lake. This is all done in advance. They're not trying to do it and catch up. Like that rink in 2 summers is going to be completely renovated. They're going to do what Seattle did in theirs. And so, like, my point is, those in Phoenix, they were always behind chasing an arena. And here, everything is done in advance, and they just need the team to be officially awarded, and then they can jam a shovel into ground. And that's the delay to start. That's it.
Right. Did you think it was going to work in Phoenix, looking back almost 3 decades? Or could it still work in the future?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, Donnie, because when we were playing down in America West Arena, it was right downtown. Yep. It was a new building at the time. Of course, it had the overhang because it was a basketball building. And it felt like a place that was vibrant and was going to support hockey. And clearly the arena was a problem, and it went from one site to the next. I will tell you, when I was most concerned for it was when they built the arena in Glendale. The football stadium wasn't there yet. Used to drive out in the bus, and it was like forever because we stayed downtown, right? There was a farmer's field, which is now the football stadium. And there was a tractor, an old dilapidated tractor that was on the corner. And that was our mark. You knew, like, in the bus, oh yeah, we're close. And I'm like, where the hell are we? It felt like we were going to the moon. Yeah. I do think that this is a hockey market, but I do think in however many years that whoever the owner is going to be, they're going to be somebody that is going to be able to work with city councils, is going to be able to have the plan either underway or up and running, or, waiting for approval to put a shovel in the ground. Like, there's going to be no more guesswork. Like, there will be not. Like, they were trying not to move out of there. I get it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get it. I really do. But this became untenable, and the league needed to move the franchise.
Just before we let you go, you're 39 years old now. Do you still?
Yes, of course I am.
You've been around for a while in hockey. You still get excited this time of year?
Playoffs are the best. Mm-hmm. that's going to be something really interesting. Funny, Donnie, you mentioned that. Neither of these teams, or both of these teams, have a bunch of players that have never really played in the playoffs.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's going to be like, it's both teams, right? It's not just the Canucks and it's not just Nashville. It's both. Whatever guys think the playoffs are, they're going to be stunned when they start. Because in the season, you should block a shot. Now you have to block a shot. In the season, puck battle around the boards, you should win it. Now you have to win it. And you don't get the luxury of, if you play poorly for 2 games, maybe you get a schedule advantage. Somebody's coming in 4 and 5 games, or somebody's coming in playing lousy. You've got the same matchup. You look at the same guy, shift after shift, game after game. And I think for me, that was the biggest adjustment was, I see this same guy every game, every shift. And it is so hard. They will be so tired and so worn out. And it is by far the best. It is just the best. I can't wait to get started. And that's just me. I'm just standing there in a suit.
Yeah, we feel the same way. So you're in Denver today, and I know you're traveling all over North America the last little while. Thanks so much for making time for us, Ray. We really appreciate it. All the best.
You betcha. I can't wait to watch playoff hockey and to watch Canuck playoff hockey. And certainly with, my connection now with Cammy, I'm so excited to watch them play. It's been a great regular season.
Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. All the best.
Peace. You betcha. Next time, Dolly, way better on the shift department. Next time.
You got it, Ray.
Love it, guys. Peace. Be well.
Thanks, Ray.